With your due permission, shall we start, sir?
Absolutely. I'm
Yeah.
all set. I'm all set. Yeah.
All right. Very warm greetings from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan's Sardar Patel Institute of Technology. I am Professor Raman Yadav, welcoming you all to our Mentor-Mentee session 2024, hand-holding session on funding opportunity for early stage entrepreneurs. We have an esteemed guest speaker for today's session, Mr. Dinesh Israni. Sir, as he defines himself, is an engineer by qualification, an educationist by vocation, a technologist by obsession, and an entrepreneur by choice. Being an integral part of the learning and development industry for more than 3 decades, Sir moved on to entrepreneurship and consulting with Last Mile Business Solutions, a company focused on technology and business consulting. Sir, as a consultant and an entrepreneur, has been a part of many a success story. To name a few, Sunray Consultants, which was one of the early known organizations in the field of advertising, marketing, and promotions. Naman Angels India Foundation, a complete ecosystem for startups in which he is steering the group's growth strategy nationally and internationally. Sir is a mentor par excellence to many technology entrepreneurs and focuses on converting technology products into businesses that can monetize these technologies. His stint as an engineering college professor to begin with, a passionate learning facilitator with Dinesh Israni Study Circle, through which he trained more than 50,000 students in various subjects of electronics based subjects for almost 3 decades, to being the director of Trainers Avenue, a platform that connects training providers with the seekers, and capping up as the dean of ARMIET, Institute catering to rural students, in the recent past, have all added a sheen to his illustrious career as an educationist. Sir is also a consultant to ISBM University Chhattisgarh, Lincoln University Malaysia for setting up their innovation and incubation centers. Sir, I wholeheartedly welcome you and I please request you to kindly take over the session.
Thank you so much, Professor Aman Yadav. And that was such a detailed introduction. I thought you just take some pointers from there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, can I share my presentation?
Sure, sir, sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll just. Is my screen visible?
It is, sir. It is visible, sir.
It is visible, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
Also, I'll just one second. If you don't mind, I'll just keep my camera off to save the bandwidth. Yeah.
Sure, sir. No issues.
So, good morning, everyone, and it's such a pleasure to be connected and speak on S.P.I.T forum. Actually, to be very honest, I was an engineering teacher. Started my career as an engineering teacher. My journey into the field of startups started with S.P.I.T. So I can say, you know, my journey of startups, or like my birth in the field of startups, started from S.P.I.T. In fact, after learning a lot of stuff from S.P.I.T. Incubation Center, that I was instrumental, and I was very much a part of it ever since it started. I moved on, and we actually formed a company called Naman Angels India Foundation. Now, before we actually move on to our today's session, if you permit, I would quickly like to tell you a little about my journey, in a nutshell, so you'll get an idea why I'm here. I started off as an engineering college teacher, did not enjoy teaching much in the institute. Moved out, I started my own classes. And while I was teaching in classes, I had a lot of time in the day. And being from the Sindhi family, I started my first business, which was into advertising and marketing. In fact, I was in the very early stage of advertising and marketing. We had started that company way back in 1991, very early. That time there was no corporate advertising house, and we were the first ones to start it. We did a great job, but then unfortunately, some of my errors, we had to shut it down. Started my second business, my mistake, shut down. Started my third business, again I goofed up somewhere, and we failed. Like this, I have four failed businesses to my career. In my community, the Sindhi community, I was labeled as a loser. They all told me that I'm a bloody loser. I can't do any business, and Sindhio ke naam pe kalanko. That's when I was very upset, and I picked up a small table in one of the local bars, which is today called Tap. Earlier it was Belga. I sat over there and collected a few friends of mine who also had losses in their business, and we just started talking about why did we lose. We started a small initiative, and we named that initiative as Screwed Up But Not Lost. From four, we became six, and from six, we became 12. That went up to 15. And when this group became about 20, we started discussing what to do. And coincidentally, three businesses revived after the discussions held at Screwed Up But Not Lost. And that was a turning point in my life where three businesses stood up. Me being the person who actually initiated this entire forum, I would make it a point to note down all the reasons why different companies failed, and I would collate all those notes. Precisely around the same time, SPIT had started with its incubation center, and they needed help from my side. So whatever I was learning in my initiative at Screwed Up But Not Lost was being implemented in SPTBI. And that's how my journey started. And we formed this company called Naman Angels India Foundation. The biggest issue that we felt for any startup, any entrepreneur, to lose out on their business was basically related to funding and marketing. Everything else they are very good with. Operations, they are good. Everything else they are very good with. But these are the two sectors where I felt any entrepreneur is very weak. And Naman Angels India Foundation decided to support all those people, all the young budding entrepreneurs in all those weak areas. Funding being one of the main areas. See, the problem that comes up is पैसे बहुत हैं मार्केट में, बहुत से लोग पैसे लेते भी हैं, but they don't know how to utilize it. That is where they crash. Second thing is they don't know where to get that money from, what is good for their company. Basically, financial management is something which is the weakest part I have seen in any startup. So, my today's topic is how we can actually guide them and help the absolute early stage startups to understand their financial needs and financial management. Basically, our topic for today is finding opportunities. Now, If you go to look at the system, it is a very simple diagram that I have drawn up here. It's just this path. You create a concept, put up a seed proposal, you pitch, you get seed funding, grow your business a bit, pitch again, you get first round of funding. That's when you have reached at a good level. Again, after you have reached a growth level, you want to grow further, you repeat the cycle. Okay. This whole cycle looks so simple when we just draw it on a chart. But actually, there are a lot of things which are involved in it. Before we talk about it, here I have some examples. There is this company called Lime Bike. Lime Bike is based out of San Francisco. The founder being Toby San, and he has recently raised $3 billion, $2.54 billion very recently. I mean, $3 billion at a valuation of $2.4 billion. This is one of the very recent development. Then here we have Kunal Patil. Kunal Patil is a student of S.P.I.T. I'm sure he's Aarti ma'am's student, and Aarti ma'am would be really, really proud of the team Work India. I think Kunal Patil is not from S.P.I.T., but his co-founders, all the other guys, they are from S.P.I.T. They were incubated at a time when I was there, and today they have raised about $6.4 million. They are going for one more round as we talk. Then there is one, you know, group called Guruji on Demand. That is the one that was, in fact, our company, Naman Angels India Foundation. That was the very first startup that we invested in after forming a proper angel investing group. That's Guruji on Demand. The name sounds very funny. A quick journey of Guruji on Demand. This the founder of this organization is Pranav Chavre, a brilliant young guy, and you know, frankly, I did not have trust in his idea. We were not, kind of going to invest in Guruji on Demand, but he kept insisting. What impressed me the most in this organization was the way he kept persisting about his business idea. He was the son of a Panditji, and he had this idea that the entire puja that is performed should be done on an app. And that's when he came up with an app called Guruji on Demand. All that you have to do is go on that particular app, book up a puja. The first thing that comes to your place after you have booked and you have paid up is the samagri, the saman that is needed for the puja. Entire packed stuff will come. Then the Panditji will come who will do the puja. He will not ask you for anything else apart from the material that has been dropped. So after the Panditji has finished his puja, he leaves and a third agency comes to your place, collects all the leftovers of the puja and does the needful. You know, today they are doing a wonderful business. In fact, they started one vertical during COVID times, and that was Moksh Seva, where they would arrange the entire funeral, end-to-end solution for the funeral. Because of that service, yesterday they are, you know, having a great turnover, and as we talk, they are about to be raising something like $3 million from an international fund house. So these are the three examples that I wanted to give you are the startups who started out of a university and today they have made it really, really big. Uh, Sir, am I audible? Am I reaching out to you?
Yes, sir, you are, sir. Yeah.
And anyone would like to interrupt and ask me a question, please feel free. Let it be a two-way communication. So when you talk about funding, there are predominantly three types of funds that we talk about. The first one is a seed fund. So when you talk about a seed fund is the one which is given at the absolute initial stage. I have an idea. I want to start my business. I need some support. So the initial amount which is given is what we call as seed fund. Of course, as of today, we also have pre-seed, but pre-seed and seed, I take it as one component. Okay, seed fund is generally raised. हमारे ज़माने में बोला जाता था from three Fs. Today they have changed it. It becomes family, friends, and incubators. During our time, it was family, friends, and fools. क्योंकि हमारे टाइम में incubators होते नहीं थे. So क्या होता था? The first, when you want to start a business, either the family members used to support you, or your friends used to support you, or there are so many rich people who don't know what to do with that money. They put money into you. And of course, they harass your life. उनको हम fools कहते हैं. So that is how we used to raise funds initially. Today we have incubators, which is a wonderful way of raising funds for any startup that you want to do. Initially, you have to take seed fund, followed by debt debt fund. Debt fund means आप पैसे ले रहे हैं और आपको पैसे रिटर्न करने होते हैं. Okay, debt funds generally come with some collateral. आपको कुछ assurance देना होता है that if you have taken the money, you're going to return it with a rate of interest. That is given by the banks. Today, there are a lot of banks which are giving a lot of schemes to the startups. Like, for example, you have the Mudra loan, you have CMEGP, okay, that is Chief Minister Employment Generation Program. These are all debt funds for you to start your businesses. हमारे ज़माने में बहुत से मुनीम चीज हुआ करते थे जो मनी लेंडर्स जो पैसे देते थे on hundi. Must have heard of something called as hundi. As of today, that hundi system बंद हो चुका है, but you still have a lot of money lenders who give you money to start your business. And the third is NBFCs. इनफैक्ट यहाँ पर मैं एक और बात बताना चाहूंगा. एनी सिंधी, अगर आप किसी भी सिंधी कम्युनिटी को देखें तो वो बिजनेस कैसे करते हैं. When they want to start a business, they will go to the market. They will approach all possible money lenders और हुंडी पे पैसे लेंगे और अपना बिजनेस स्टार्ट करेंगे. The first thing when they have taken money from the market and they run a business, the first thing they do is return the money of investors. And then whatever is a balance amount remaining, they take it home. अब उनको एक दूसरी दुकान खोलनी है. ये दुकान बहुत अच्छी चल रही है, उनको दूसरी दुकान खोलनी है. They have enough money at home, बट वो उस पैसों को हाथ नहीं लगाएंगे. दूसरी दुकान खोलनी है, फिर जाएंगे मार्केट में, फिर पैसे कलेक्ट करेंगे, फिर अपनी दुकान खोलेंगे, ये पैसे निकाल के प्रॉफिट घर जाएगा. So in a Siddhi style of doing business, the money always goes to their house. कुछ भी venture start करना है, borrow other people's money, use that money and do your business. Okay. The reason is every Sindhi thinks कि हमारे सर पे तलवार रहेगी तो हम बिजनेस बहुत अच्छा कर पाएंगे. हमारे सर पे तलवार रहेगी, so we will be really, under pressure to perform, and that's when our business grows. Now, this is a concept which is a very important concept and is the need of the hour for every startup today. There is so much of seed fund which is available for the startup, and we easily give it to them. हम उनके सर पे तलवार नहीं रखते हैं. So that is one thing which is lacking in the Indian startup scenario. जब आप उनको सीड फंड देते हो, कोई भी इंक्यूबेटर को सीड फंड देता है, we need to keep a sword on their head so that they are under pressure to perform. So the second way in which you can actually raise money is the debt round. Third format in which you can actually get the funding is equity. इक्विटी मतलब आज आप मुझे पैसे दीजिए, हम आपको कंपनी के शेयर्स देते हैं, आप हमारे कंपनी में शेयर होल्डर हैं। जैसे जैसे कंपनी बढ़ेगी आपका भी पैसा बढ़ता रहेगा। एज एंड व्हेन माय वैल्यू गोज ऑन इंक्रीजिंग, you will also have your valuation. I always tell the startups, equity is the most expensive form of raising a fund. कभी भी आप इक्विटी के अगेंस्ट पैसे लेते हैं तो 10 बार नहीं, 500 बार सोचिए। थिंक अबाउट इट 100 times before raising funds on equity. Okay, so these are the three types of fundings: the seed, the debt, and the equity. Anybody, any questions? Oh, sorry. A little bit about seed funding. As I told you, seed fund जो होता है, you take it from your families and friends. You need to be very good with your mathematics. क्या होता है, अगर आपका मैथमेटिक्स गलत है, आप ज्यादा पैसा ले रहे हैं, we have to remember, we have to remember that आपको ये पैसे रिटर्न करने हैं. Somewhere or the other, you will have to return the money, right? Because it's from family, there is no time commitment. But अगर आप ज्यादा पैसा लेते हैं, आप उतना ब्लो अप करोगे. So try and take as much money as you require. Second thing is, no investor will pay you for what you did yesterday. Every investor is only going to pay you for what you're going to do tomorrow. So don't go up to the investor and say, अरे हमने already इतना खर्चा कर चुके हैं. आप खर्चा कर चुके हैं, that is gone. Okay. आगे जो खर्चा करेंगे, that is where the investor will pay you. There is one very important thing I've written: don't fool with fools. The easiest way to get money is from a fool. जो जिसके पास पैसे पड़े हैं वो खुशी से आपको देता है, बट वो बंदा आपका जीना हराम करेगा, because he wants the money back whenever he wants it. Okay, he is not going to be considerate with your business. So that's why I always say, don't fool a fool. Don't fool with a fool. There is one more way in which you can raise seed fund as of today, and that is crowdfunding. अगर आपको याद है, आज से ऑलमोस्ट 3-4 साल पहले एक मोबाइल आया था, फ्रीडम 321. सुना था आप लोगों ने? There was a mobile. I think they were giving a mobile if you book for 250 rupees or 251 rupees. याद है आप लोगों को ये? Later on, it was termed as a scam. Actually, it was not going to be a scam. He genuinely wanted to start. He wanted money to start the factory, and so he, promised to give the phone for 251 rupees. He collected the money, and he was setting up the factory. अगर वो फैक्ट्री बन जाती थी तो सबके पास वो मोबाइल आ गया होता. But while the factory was being made, somebody put a litigation on him, and that's where he got stuck in the court cases, and it has not seen the daylight. Otherwise, that was a pure case of crowdfunding. Any questions related to this, please? Anybody? Anybody? Any questions here? Can I proceed?
Sir, I have one question.
Yes, sir.
This is Harshvardhan Pandit from Department of Technology, Shivaji University, Kolhapur.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello. Just now you said that no investor will pay money for what you did yesterday, but
Correct.
they will pay you for what you are going to do in the
Tomorrow.
future or tomorrow. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
it is a big question that always we are emphasizing on what we have done yesterday. Okay.
Huh.
So how to identify that in terms of financial burden or financial health? from, and how
Sir,
to convince them?
surely that's a good question, sir. Sir, when I say that they are not going to pay you for yesterday, is आज जो आप उनके सामने प्रोडक्ट दिखा रहे हो, see ultimately if you're going to an investor for a money and especially seed fund, आप कुछ तो होमवर्क करके गए होंगे, करेक्ट? You must have done some homework. This is what I create. This is what I predict.
Yes,
Right? You have done some homework. Now we have seen some startups who come to us and उनके जो शीट में लिखा रहता है, like I'll tell you, very recently I had one startup who had come to me. They were at an absolute ideation stage. They did not even have the product or prototype ready. Okay. वो बंदा जब शीट बना रहा है, वो शीट पे कहता है, I have spent so many hours creating this business and I'm putting 300 rupees per hour to my time which I have invested in the company. You pay for it. No investor is going to pay you for this. An investor is going to see what you have created as of today and उसका 5 साल बाद क्या वैल्यू होगा, उस हिसाब से ही इज गोइंग टू पुट द मनी. यू आर गेटिंग माय पॉइंट? अगर आपने प्रोटोटाइप बनाया है, सो यू हैव स्पेंट सम मनी ऑन क्रिएटिंग द प्रोटोटाइप. आप किसी इन्वेस्टर के पास जाते हो, कहते हो हमने ये प्रोटोटाइप बनाया है, अब हमें प्रोडक्ट बनाना है. प्रोटोटाइप तो प्रोडक्ट बनाने में हमें 15 लाख का खर्चा है, आप 15 लाख दीजिए, करेक्ट? बट अगर आप इन्वेस्टर को कहोगे प्रोटोटाइप बनाने में हमारा 1.5 लाख का खर्चा हो गया, वो भी आप दीजिए, सो दैट नो इन्वेस्टर इज गोइंग टू गिव. Investor is going to give you money on what you have today, where you can reach the next 2 years, and how much money you need to go from today to the next 2 years. That is what I meant by saying that investor is not going to pay you for what you have done yesterday. Sir, did you get the point?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. What you have done today और परसों कहाँ पहुंचना है, वो पहुंचने तक के लिए आपको कितने फंड्स चाहिए, इन्वेस्टर इज गोइंग टू पे यू प्रिसाइसली फॉर दैट अमाउंट, नथिंग मोर देन दैट. तो आपकी स्टोरी में आपने कल क्या काम किया है, वो सिर्फ एक हाईलाइट होना चाहिए, बट दैट शुड नॉट बी समथिंग व्हिच should be a point for fund ask. Any other questions, anybody? We have all heard the term angel investors, correct? Actually, from the people who are listening, is there anyone who is already a startup and has raised some funds? Is there anyone who's having their own startup and has raised funds or is in the process of raising funds? Anybody?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. आप बता सकते हैं आपका क्या स्टार्टअप है, सर?
Uh, we are into food technology, food
Okay.
related. We have developed
Mhm.
some vending machine, food vending machine, uh,
Okay.
and recently it has got recognition as startup.
Sorry.
Recently it has got recognition as a startup by ministry, and we are
Lovely.
in the process. So that's why I feel this your guidance is important for me.
Surely, surely.
Yes, sir.
So, what I suggest is let's understand the concept of angel investors first. Okay. Angel investors are those rich people, those HNIs who have a lot of money and are ready to help you in your business at the starting phase. But when they put money in you, प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, उनका कैलकुलेशन यही रहता है कि आज अगर मैं आपको 10 रुपए देता हूँ, 5 साल बाद क्या मुझे आप 1,000 रुपया या 2,000 रुपया या 5,000 रुपया करके दोगे. दे आर लुकिंग एट अ मिनिमम 100x मल्टीप्लीकेशन. ओके. 5-10x डज नॉट इंटरेस्ट देम बिकॉज वो तो उनको बैंक से मिल जाता है. 3-4 साल में पैसे डबल तो वो खुद भी कर सकते हैं. 18% रेट ऑफ इंटरेस्ट तो उनको मार्केट से भी मिल जाता है पैसे डाल के. तो जब एंजल इन्वेस्टर, अ रिच पर्सन who puts money into your organization, what he will see is what returns will I get. अब सवाल ये होता है कि एंजल इन्वेस्टर्स मिलेंगे कहाँ? Where do I find these angels and how do I reach out to them? So there are many categories of angels. Okay, I'll give you a few categories, you will understand. एक तो आजकल आईटी का बूम है. We have a lot of IT students, and anyone who's in the IT industry is highly paid. You know, ये IT वाले with a 4 or 5 year experience, they take home something like 30-35 lakhs, 40 lakhs. अब उनका साल भर का नीड इज नॉट मोर देन 10 lakhs. They are happy with it 10 lakhs. तो ये जो 20 लाख उनके पास एक्स्ट्रा होता है, lot of these young IT guys with 3-4 experience and a high package, they are coming in as angel investors at the absolute initial phase. They are ready to put 20 lakhs to 25 lakhs into your organization. ये एक लेटेस्ट टाइप ऑफ एंजल जो मैंने देखा है. Lot of such angel investors are there in the market who are at a high salary. They don't mind putting in a part of their salary into the business. Their gamble is they want to grow their money. Second category I have seen is, let me give you a simple example. हमारे Flipkart के जो owner हैं, विनी बंसल. विनी बंसल sold his stake for $5 million. Today he has that $5 million. He is only investing into startups. That is one more angel investor example that I can give you. Third angel investors, I'll tell you, are the richy rich businessmen who have a lot of money. Okay, they will park money into your business. They are the ones who are very interesting because they have a good knowledge of business. They have a very strong network. Okay, and they have money. Those are called strategic angels. Those are the best angels who you can get into your kitty. अपने पास ला सकते हो. उनके पास पैसे हैं, उनके पास नेटवर्क होता है अपना. They can help you promote your business. Okay, and they are very good with business strategies. So that is one good category of angel investors. But yes, they are all the time after you because they want their money to grow. So वो आपका जीना हराम कर देंगे. You know, आप छुट्टी पे गए, आपको वो फोन करके पूछेगा, यार मैंने तुम्हें पैसा दिया है, मेरा पैसा लेके आप छुट्टी मना रहे हो. ओके, सो दे आर दोज ओवर पोजेसिव बॉयफ्रेंड्स काइंड ऑफ एंजल्स जो आपका जीना हराम कर देंगे. Third category which I'm seeing, the one more category which I'm seeing very often today is, in the Sindhi, Kachhi, and the Gujarati community. These are the typically rich business community. अब इन communities में मैंने क्या देखा है, whatever business they are in, suppose if they are the garment business or real estate business, they don't want the next generation to come into the same business. तो वो क्या कर रहे हैं, वो आप जैसे स्टार्टअप्स को ढूंढते हैं एंड दे से वी वांट टू पुट मनी इनटू योर स्टार्टअप, बट आप एक एक कंडीशन लीजिए कि हमारा जो लड़का है या हमारी जो लड़की है वो आपके स्टार्टअप में आपके पार्टनर रहेंगे. ओके, so the child gets a good startup where they can grow professionally. Okay, so you come up with your technology, your plans, and they come up with money. Okay, so this is again a very good combination as of today. So ये साइड में आपको दिखेगा कि what is the upside and downside of uh, the investors, of angel investors. They come up with good networking options. Okay, they are very patient. They patiently support you till your venture grows. Okay, downside में बड़ा प्रॉब्लम है. They want their exit. दे आर गोइंग टू बी आफ्टर यू, कहाँ आप हमें एग्जिट कब दोगे, ओके, और कितने पे दोगे, आप हमें कितने पैसे दोगे कि हम आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से निकल सके. In such cases, when you are looking at an angel investor, my request is don't go to an angel directly until unless you don't know them very well. Always go through a group. Like our group, Naman Angels India Foundation, we are a group of angel investors. I have got loads of angel investors with us. So when you go through a particular group, we take the responsibility of matchmaking between an angel and a startup. So anything angel investment related, does anybody have any query? Please feel free to ask. Anybody, any questions on angel investments?
What is the
Yeah. Hello. Hello. I'm not able to hear you.
hello, sir? What is the
Yeah.
meaning
Yeah.
of equity?
Equity means shares of your organization. Equity means if my company, I have started a company, हर कंपनी के शेयर्स होते हैं. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, me and my brother and my friend, we three are starting this company. But what we say is, since this was my idea, I'm keeping 60% of the company. 25% is my brother, and balance 15% is my friend. So ये जो 60%, 25% and 15% होता है, that is what we call as equity. It's a share in the company. Hello, did you get that? Hello,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
yeah, you got it. That's equity. That's equity. What is my share in the company? Okay. Can I proceed? The next is venture funding. Of course, एक चीज I will tell you, angels सिर्फ नाम के angels होते हैं. They are the biggest devils I have seen. The way they harass you, for the funds. The next place where you can actually find funds are the venture capitalists. Actually, venture fund क्या होता है? Okay, venture fund is a proper fund. आप सब म्यूचुअल फंड का कंसेप्ट जानते हैं. व्हाट इज म्यूचुअल फंडिंग? हाउ डज म्यूचुअल फंड वर्क? से फॉर एग्जांपल, अ फ्रैंकलिन टेम्पल्टन अपना फंड रिलीज करता है. दे स्टार्ट अ फंड. दे टेल यू, पुट मनी इन दिस फंड, इतने टाइम में आपका फंड ये लेवल पे ग्रो होगा. व्हाट डू दीज म्यूचुअल फंड्स डू? दे कलेक्ट मनी फ्रॉम ऑल ऑफ अस. कोई 5,000 देगा, कोई 10,000 देगा, कोई 20,000 देगा, कोई 1 लाख देगा. ऐसे करके they collect a corpus, they collect a good amount of money, and that money is invested into equity, into market. Okay, and जैसे जैसे वहां से profits आता है, those profits are passed on to you in equal parts, equal shares. That is the same concept of a venture fund. Venture fund क्या होता है? They create a fund. Just give me 1 minute. Just give me. Sorry. वेंचर फंड में क्या होता है? दे ओपन अप अ फंड. देयर आर लॉट ऑफ पीपल हु पुट मनी इन इट. Okay, a group of people who will put money in it, and that money collectively is invested into different types of startups. Okay, so a venture fund has public money which is actually parked into different sectors. And that again depends upon how the venture fund decides to put. Some venture funds only put in the form of seed capital, they put up as a startup capital, they go on putting it up in different series. That is totally the fund manager's prerogative. Okay. फंड मैनेजर का काम है, आज इस आदमी ने इतने पैसे डाले हैं और मुझे उसको 10x 20x 100x करके रिटर्न करना है. So they invest into your company and they want returns. वेंचर फंड में क्या हो जाता है, वन गुड थिंग अबाउट अ वेंचर फंड इज when any venture capital fund is put into your organization, they make sure that your organization performs because उनके पीछे प्रेशर होता है of the investors money, so they make sure that you perform, so they come along with an advisory role. वो आपकी कंपनी में आ जाते हैं एंड दे आर द वंस हु आर यू नो ऑन योर एडवाइजरी बोर्ड. वो देखते रहेंगे कि आप सही कर रहे हैं, गलत कर रहे हैं, क्या कर रहे हैं, आर यू डूइंग द राइट थिंग. ओके. VC fund is a very corporate kind of fund. Okay. इसमें of course they come up with a lot of terms. They have an equal control in your business. Okay. They want the founders 2-3 साल में just निकल जाना चाहिए. Okay. They want the founders to be with the company and with the money. Okay. उनका इंटरेस्ट होता है that you should get into creating of an IPO. All right. Basically, that is what a venture fund does. There are a lot of family funds. For example, Mukesh Ambani. Mukesh Ambani's family fund is very strong. That is his collective family fund. That is also invested into a lot of organizations. That fund is in the form of a venture fund. Anybody, any questions on venture funding? Please feel free to ask. Sequoia is one of the biggest venture fund in India. Anyone, any questions on venture funding?
Sir, one small question, sir.
Yes, sir, please.
So, how to connect our startup companies to the venture funds?
So, startup companies to the venture funds is a little difficult because venture funds don't connect with the absolute ideation based startups.
No, so it has reached a certain level. Prototypes are ready,
Uh-huh.
actually tested also.
Then,
Now, so they
no
make.
issue, sir, at all. Are you an incubator, sir?
Yeah. Actually, so one of the student is reached that level. Actually, is prototype is
Uh-huh.
ready, tested. New technology patent is already filed. So
Super. Yes, sir.
it's already tested. Actually, he wants to go for next level. So maybe
So,
samples to be given to the people to use and all. Actually, so that level he
correct.
has reached. Actually, he is not getting how to arrange these
So,
funds, manufacturing system, and actually.
sir, not an issue. Now, in this case, there is a very simple way to do it. Okay. One is there are a lot of accelerator programs which are running in India. You can get into some or the other accelerator program, but
Accelerator.
accelerator programs. But here there is a very important red flag, sir. There are so many people who are doing these accelerator programs, but accelerator programs, unfortunately, in India, we have made it just like an event.
Okay.
It's become more like an event.
Okay.
Okay. आइए आप पिच करिए, तालियां बजती हैं और बात खत्म हो जाता है.
बिल्कुल सही
So
बोल रहे
when,
थे आप. Yeah,
yeah,
right.
so when you get into any accelerator program, sir, be very careful.
Okay.
Check the background कि वो accelerator program ने कितने actually deals close किए. They may give you all bullshit कि हमारे पास ये investor है, वो investors है. don't come into those talks. You should ask the accelerator program in your past rounds how many funds, how many funding rounds have you closed? And that should be on the accelerator program. Okay. Only when you find that kind of an accelerator, so you should approach them. Otherwise, refrain from such accelerator programs. The second option is what you need to do is identify different venture funds.
Okay, sir.
सर आज अगर आप गूगल पे जाके वेंचर फंड्स इन इंडिया टाइप करेंगे
Yes, sir.
तो आपको पूरा का पूरा लिस्ट मिल जाएगा. यू गेट द एंटायर लिस्ट ऑफ all venture capitalists which are existing in India.
Okay, sir.
What the startup founder should do is try to look at the portfolio of every venture fund.
Okay, sir.
सबसे पहले देखिए वो फंड कितना है. What is the size of that fund? What
Okay.
is the money they have? Okay. Whether they still have some balance. All that is available on their website. All those details will be there on their website because this is a mandatory thing. They have to, put that. सो उनके वेबसाइट पे आपको ये डिटेल्स मिल जाएगा कि कितने पैसे उनके पास इस वक्त पड़े हैं. एंड देन फाइंड आउट देयर पोर्टफोलियो. फॉर एग्जांपल, if you're into health tech, you need to find out which are the venture capitalists who are investing into health tech. When was the last time they have invested into the health tech, and how much is the balance they have? You need to do your homework before you actually reach out to any venture fund.
Yes, sir.
So here my humble request to every startup founder is you should do your homework. Don't depend on any agents. Okay. See, for an agent, it's very easy to raise their hands. But as a startup founder, it is your business. You need to do that kind of an homework. Go on their website, do whatever research you can do, shortlist 5 venture funds, and then reach out to them. If you reach out to a right venture fund, which is investing into the right kind of, who has a right kind of portfolio like the one that you're looking at, then the deal is very, very lucrative.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
But I personally refrain from all the so-called glamorous accelerator programs.
Yes, sir.
वहां पर क्या होता है सर? We become more of a display. My startups become more of a display.
Yes, sir.
And startups, should not get into all those things. Yeah. Any more questions, anybody? Sir, we have to understand one particular thing, that investors always put money on the jockey and not on the horse. Okay. अगर जो ड्राइविंग टीम है, which is a strong driving team, the core team, the founders, the entrepreneurs, they are strong. Investors will put money. Okay. They don't look at your business. Their first focus is the team. टीम स्ट्रांग है तो उनको इतना कॉन्फिडेंस आ जाता है कि कितना भी वीक बिजनेस हो उसको स्ट्रांग कर पाएंगे. बट इफ योर बिजनेस इज स्ट्रांग एंड द रनिंग टीम इज foolish, okay, the funding becomes very, very, very difficult. That was one of the reasons for me to put up this slide, that I try to tell everybody that it's the team which is important, not the horse. जब आप किसी इन्वेस्टर के सामने जाते हैं, so what are the points that you need to be very, very clear with? These are the points for which the investor is going to hammer you. सबसे important point है financials. You need to be very clear with your financials. There should be no messing up in the financials. Be as clear, as transparent, as clear as you can. This is something which today's entrepreneur somehow doesn't believe in. हमेशा जो वो फाइनेंशियल्स देते हैं उसमें मैनिपुलेटेड नंबर्स होते हैं. एंड फॉर एन इन्वेस्टर, फॉर अ वीसी, फॉर एन एंजल, it's very easy to find out कहाँ आपने मैनिपुलेशंस किया है. So we always tell the founders, be as clear as you can for the financials. Be as real and as natural as you can for the financials. Second thing is, आज अगर we are putting money into any startup, my expectation is how will I get my money back with my earnings, and that is possible only through sales. So after clear financials, the next thing they check is how, or rather, what is your strategy for sales? Because मुझे पैसे तो sales से ही आने हैं. Okay. What are the assets and liabilities you're creating? आज अब मैं आपको पैसे देता हूँ, सारे के सारे पैसे आप एसेट क्रिएशन में डाल देते हैं. According to me, asset is a dead investment, right? So why should my money be used for creating dead investments? All right. How well you have done your market research. This also plays a very important role because बहुत से entrepreneurs बहुत कुछ फेंक देते हैं, बहुत फेंकते हैं, during the investor meet. The investor is smart. He has the data. So before you actually meet an investor has already done his homework. Their team has already done their homework. So when you give them a wrong market data, they catch you. And of course, the opportunity costs. Opportunity cost is something which every investor will think. आज अगर मैं आपके बिजनेस में 10 लाख डालता हूँ, ठीक है, आप मुझे वो 10 लाख कितना ग्रो करके दोगे? सेकेंडली मेरा खुद का बिजनेस है, मैं आपको 10 लाख देता हूँ, अपना टाइम भी देता हूँ. अगर वही 10 लाख और मेरा उतना ही टाइम मैंने अपने बिजनेस में किया होता तो मैं कितना ग्रो हुआ होता. विज आप कितना ग्रोथ देते हो? डेफिनेटली अगर आपका ग्रोथ मेरे कंपनी के ग्रोथ से ज्यादा है in terms of valuation, I will prefer to invest. So any investor is definitely going, especially an angel investor, they are going to look at the opportunity cost. That's why your numbers have to be very realistic. Any questions here, anybody? Feel free to ask me any question if you have one. And of course, what is the relationship that you have? Your skills, how you maintain those relationships. These are a few pointers which I really wanted everyone to understand. See, you know, स्टार्टअप फाउंडर के लिए बहुत डिफिकल्ट होता है कि कौन से वीसी को अप्रोच करना. मैंने आपको बताया what you have to do is do a thorough research on the investor and the VC firm. Okay, please do a thorough research of them. जब आप किसी वीसी के साथ होते हो, आपको सिर्फ एक मौका मिलता है. And secondly, VC community is a very small and a close-knit community. एक ने आपको रिजेक्ट किया तो ये बात इजीली फैल जाती है. सर, हियर देयर इज वन मोर थिंग दैट आई वांट टू टेल ऑल ऑफ यू. मैंने जो आपको बताया कि बहुत से जगहों पर हमारे स्टार्टअप्स दे बिकम अ डिस्प्ले. इवेंट्स होते हैं, तालियां बजती हैं. अगर आप लास्ट मंथ का ही रिकॉर्ड देखें, लास्ट मंथ, दैट इज अ मंथ ऑफ मार्च, in Mumbai itself, there were like 220 pitch sessions. Okay, when the startups have gone and pitched their ideas to certain investors. सर, अगर आप वो डेटा देखो तो वो जो 150 160 इवेंट्स रहे हैं पिचिंग, okay, they have had the same investors, they have had the same panel of investors. Okay, somewhere they are wearing a pink shirt, somewhere they are wearing a yellow shirt. सूट वही रहता है, टाई वही रहती है. ओके, आप उन लोगों का बैकग्राउंड चेक करिए. करिए, उनमें से एक भी इन्वेस्टर ऐसा नहीं दिखेगा who has actually invested in startups. ओके, सो ये आजकल बहुत फैला हुआ है मार्केट में कि वी आर वीसीज, वी आर अ वेंचर फंड, ओके, वी आर going to be there in a panel. In fact, you will be surprised, sir. In one of the panels, I saw one very young person who's just about 22 sitting as a venture fund. Okay. I mean, I don't know what was his background. बट अगर आप एक वेंचर फंड हो, 22 साल की हो, आपने अब जस्ट रिसेंटली ग्रेजुएशन खत्म किया है, आप कैसे जज करोगे स्टार्टअप? Okay, till you have not actually had the experience to be a part of uh, a startup yourself. So we need to be very very careful before going to such places. इन जगहों पर जाके क्या होता है, we get overexposed. And suppose if we were there at one particular forum और ये बात किसी वीसी को पहुंच जाती है कि ये जगह जगह पर जाके सेम पिचडिंग बता रहे हैं, VCs lose interest in your organization. That's why when you're approaching a VC, you need to do a lot of homework before you actually reach out to a VC. Of course, there are some more terms which are involved in funding. एक होता है bootstrapping. The best example of a bootstrap startup I'll give you is Zerodha. Zerodha has created a great valuation without taking any outside fund. जब आप खुद के पैसे डालते हैं कंपनी में, जो बिजनेस में पैसे आते हैं वो पैसे फिर से आप बिजनेस में डालते हैं. दैट इज व्हाट वी कॉल एज बूटस्ट्रैपिंग. ओके, बूटस्ट्रैपिंग थोड़ा ऑफ कोर्स फर्स्ट टाइम एंटरप्रेन्योर्स के लिए डिफिकल्ट होता है. सेकंड, एज आई टोल्ड यू, इज डेट फंडिंग. डेट फंडिंग इज फ्रॉम अ बैंक. एडवांटेजेस, यू डोंट हैव टू गिव अप इक्विटी. आपकी इक्विटी सेफ रहती है, ठीक है, बट आपको इंटरेस्ट भरना है रेगुलरली. थर्ड पार्ट इज इक्विटी फाइनेंसिंग. इक्विटी फाइनेंसिंग में क्या होता है, आपको if you're taking it from family and friends, you get limited amount of funds. Okay, plus I will tell you one thing very very honestly, the worst and the most difficult investor in your life is your father. आप अपने फादर से पैसे निकाल के देखिए. No father is ever going to trust his child in business. Do you agree with me? Do you all agree with me? I think there are a lot of teachers here who would be parents, who would be fathers. So would you trust your son to start a venture? Anybody? Anybody? Anybody, sir? Anybody in the group? Any parent? I always say when you take money from family, it's a very big risk. It complicates personal relations as well. Of course, there is something known as royalty financing. Royalty financing means, जैसे फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में होता है. फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में they put money into a film and then a particular area is given to them. ये area से whatever funding comes is what we are going to give it to you. So that is what we call as royalty funding. There are a lot of government grants which are available. Okay, I think मैं एक बात आपको really बताना चाहूँगा कि if you want good government funds and government grants, S.P.T is a place. They have lovely grants which are meant to be given to startups, and they are also very they do a proper analysis before they park money into any of the startups. So there are a lot of government funds and grants. In fact, I have put a list here These are all different grants of the government. You have Startup India Seed Fund, you have the Mudra Yojana, you have venture capital assistance from Atal Innovation Mission. These are all government schemes for startups from various different organizations. Three major organizations: Startup India, Atal Innovation Mission, and Department of Science and Technology. Okay, ये तीन मेन जगह. Of course, now even they have added SIDBI, so Credit Guarantee Trust Fund for MSME, जो मैंने लिखा है, that comes from SIDBI. SIDBI is a part of Startup India once again today. Any questions here? I think all these funds are going to be available to you in any of the incubation centers. So this is a chart which talks about what was the amount raised in 2022. अगर आप 2022 में देखते हैं, January 2022 was great. July आते आते थोड़ा, it had gone down. And this is for 23. अगर आप 2023 का जो फंडिंग एस्पेक्ट देखते हैं, there has been a very good round of funding in 2023. After 21 to 22, we definitely had a dip. Okay, dip इसलिए है because we are not getting the kind of startups that are actually needed. This is a chart which tells you कि 2022 में which were the major things. So अगर आप देखते हैं, fintech and e-commerce and of course enterprise, these are the leading you know things. बाकी सब में बहुत कम था and this changed in 2023. अगर आप 2023 का सेक्टर देखते हैं, okay, fintech remains good, but e-commerce has gone way above fintech. Okay, the closure of deals for e-commerce was way more than fintech. This is the data for 2023. $11.3 billion का फंडिंग हुआ है. There have been, this is basically a data which is there for 2023. 984 deals, 86 new funds were launched, and a lot of ESOP buybacks हुए हैं. There have been a lot of mergers and acquisitions. So this was basically, in short, a chart for 2023. So these are the opportunities that, as I told you, we have for startups in Naman Angels India Foundation. So that was all from my side. Please feel free to ask me any questions if you have some. Any questions? I'm really open to answering.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Huh. We observe that we have a good idea. We try to make that as with a proper prototype, but
Right.
still there is a problem which I felt. The presentation itself, like what I'm holding and what I'm presenting, it really means something for getting funding, and how to present our prototype so that we can really be a good positive or good person to get the funding.
Ma'am, it's all about how you actually tell the story. वहाँ पर, it's not about how you create a presentation. It's about how you tell the story. It's all about storytelling tricks over there. So when you have a prototype ready, you don't have to show the actual prototype immediately. What you have to do is, ma'am, whenever you're going to pitch, or I'll tell you how you actually create your pitch. When you're sitting with an investor, of course, you have done a thorough homework about the investor before you meet an investor. You need to spend some time knowing the background of that investor. The first thing that you have to tell the investor is, what is the problem. Okay, kya problem? See, any startup is nothing but a solution, right? So solution should definitely have a problem. So what you need to tell the investor is, what is your problem? What is the problem? And make the investor feel the pinch of that problem. आप ऐसी स्टोरी वीव करिए शुरू में, क्योंकि आप जब इन्वेस्टर के बारे में पढ़ते हैं आपको पता चलता है कि इन्वेस्टर का बैकग्राउंड क्या है. Weave such a story that in the first 20 seconds when you're talking about your problem, the investor thinks, yes, this is my problem as well. The minute you have been able to create that link, the investor is stuck to you. Okay, at least he will listen through the entire presentation. So, when you start presenting, the first thing you need to do is put the problem to him in such a way that he should understand that yes, this is my pain point as well. Now, once he has understood that, then you say that you have a solution to it. And then you give them the solution. Now, after you've given them the solution, you need to put across your team. See, आपने प्रॉब्लम आइडेंटिफाई किया, आपने प्रॉब्लम इन्वेस्टर को ऐसे दिखाया कि इन्वेस्टर परेशान हो गया कि ये प्रॉब्लम तो मेरा भी है, बट आपके पास इसका सोल्यूशन है. अब अगर आपके पास इसका सोल्यूशन है तो क्या यू हैव दैट पर्टिकुलर टीम टू हैंडल दिस काइंड ऑफ, और टू गिव मी अ सोल्यूशन. So immediate next thing will be talk about your team. And once you have spoken about your team, then get to the money aspect. What is the money that you need to create this particular solution? And how can any investor or anybody make money once they put money into this particular uh, startup? If you follow this simple method, there is no way in which why your organization will not get funds. ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता that your organization will not get funds if you have this story told in this particular manner. Yes, ma'am. Have I been able to answer your question, or did I drift away?
Thank
Yes,
you,
ma'am.
sir. It's really
Yeah.
perfect.
Thank you so much. Yeah, anyone, please feel free to ask whatever questions you have. Anyone? No questions? Then thank you very much.
Yes, sir, I guess you have answered all the queries and all the doubts that we people were having. So no more questions left, it seems. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I hope I have been able to reach out to you and give you an idea of funding. I mean,
Sir, I would
Pandit sir
like
is
to.
having one question.
Sir,
oh yeah, please.
I'm not having question. It was a very much useful session, but I want to
Thank you so
thank you,
much.
sir, very much for two key takeaways I learned from this. That investors, they don't invest for what you did yesterday, but what you are going to do tomorrow.
Well, tomorrow.
And one more
Absolutely.
thing, that they don't invest on horse but on jockey.
On the
So
jockey.
thank you very
Absolutely.
much for these takeaways.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Hello,
Sir.
am I
Hello.
audible, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. Session was really useful. I have
Thank you, sir.
one query. Like there are many,
Yes, ma'am.
maybe we can invite you to our college for this session.
Definitely, ma'am.
This is
Definitely.
something normally the students or the entrepreneurs or the startup are having. Like they will raise the fund, they will be even getting the fund as a seed fund or anything. So at the end it has to be like the all the bills and everything has to be submitted. How that time they'll be having some issues, some vendors they will not be giving the proper receipt. So how to actually handle such kind of situations? Like,
Ma'am, this is where the incubator plays a very important role.
yes.
The incubators have to put their foot down, that you need to give them this kind of detailing. See, क्या होता है, ma'am? The
Hmm.
incubators, they treat the startups like babies,
Yeah.
and so they over pamper them.
Correct.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Be a very strict parent. Okay,
Okay.
that's when they will give you the necessary output. What happens is, most of the startups, they have this habit कि चलो इसके पास चले गए, you know, ये easy है, ज़्यादा परेशान नहीं करेगा. So they don't do a lot of homework before buying things and procuring things.
Okay.
Ultimately, it is the investors' money, public investors' money. It's the taxpayers' money that we are using, right? So
Okay.
we need to be very careful. The incubators need to put a control over there. You know, in
Okay.
fact, I personally feel. In fact, this is what I have done in one of the incubators that I have recently set up.
Okay.
When a particular amount has been sanctioned,
Yeah.
and especially if it's a very early stage startup, we don't give them the entire fund. We keep the fund with us.
Okay.
It's a clear, transparent thing for the startup. ये पैसे आप ही के हैं. आप देखो हम इसको कैसे रखे हैं. You bring the invoice, हम immediate payment करेंगे.
Okay.
आपके हाथ में हम पैसे नहीं दे रहे. Till you have developed that maturity, and we are confident कि the funds will not be misused.
Okay. Okay. True,
Yes.
sir. It's a good idea. Thank you. Yeah. Because the money is there at the same time, you give proper bills, then the settlement can be done. So the other way.
Absolutely, ma'am.
Correct.
Absolutely. ये नहीं चलता है कि इस लाला जी की दुकान से हमने ये ले लिया वो ले लिया. That then there'll be no accountability. So
Okay.
yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yes, if anyone else has any questions, please take this opportunity.
In बातों में, ma'am, I would like to tell you something कि even I am a little loose with money matters, and मेरी कंपनी का चेयरपर्सन मैंने ऐसा बना दिया कि all the money matters are really controlled very well. My wife is the chairperson of my company, so there's a massive control at home over the finances.
Yeah, yeah. True, sir.
मैंने कहा ना, we have to have that sword on our head, all the time.
True, true.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Yes.
All right, sir. I wish to thank you
Thank
for
you so
having
much,
such
Professor.
yeah, for giving us such insightful and valuable inputs. I think I can speak for all. It was indeed a very enlightening and resourceful session for all of us.
Thank you so much,
Um,
sir. Thank you so much.
and thank you so much, sir, again for giving us
Thanks, sir.
your precious time. We are looking forward to having more such sessions with you.
Definitely. And thank you very much, Aarti ma'am, reaching out to me and inviting me for this particular session. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
wish to thank all the participants as well for their presence and enthusiasm. We will dissolve this meeting now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, all of you.